The Awakening.
Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. This week in Asia, President Biden let the cat out of the bag. He said higher gasoline prices are an unfortunate necessity in making the transition from fossil fuels to alternatives like windmills and solar panels. He said, quote, "We're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, will be stronger, and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over," end quote. Give our Commander-in-Chief credit for candor. His confession lays bare his administration's true agenda. That is, do everything possible to raise the cost of traditional energy sources by crushing production of oil, gas, and coal in the U.S. in the name of climate change. This explains the bizarre contradictions of his statements. He avows he's doing everything possible to lower prices at the pump. There's an election coming up, while simultaneously reducing domestic supply and trying to open up oil imports from the bloody dictatorships of Venezuela and Iran, until recently, Russia. The Biden policy is profoundly wrong. If pursued the way he wants, it would immensely damage the economy, blighting the lives of tens of millions of people. It would be an environmental disaster. It would leave the Earth a poorer, uglier planet. More fundamentally, given current technology, the mind-boggling amount of more mining, a tenfold increase to extract the necessary minerals, and the enormous production of manufactured parts, his goal is utterly unattainable. This undertaking would reverse 2 centuries in the decline of real energy costs and the concomitant immense increase in energy production. Every major advance in our standard of living has required major increases in energy consumption. Trains, cars, planes, tractors, electric lighting, telephony, appliances, and the internet, and more.
You are attempting to access classified data.
Energy use will skyrocket. In the past 20 years, the $5 trillion spent by governments in so-called renewables has resulted in reducing the share of fossil fuels globally from 86% to 84%. The public should demand that instead of vague platitudes about climate change, the Biden administration should provide a detailed roadmap and timetable of achieving this alleged nirvana of alternative energy sources. The GOP could legitimately insist on this for the upcoming elections. What minerals will be needed and in what amounts? Where exactly will those minerals be coming from? What will be required in new equipment to sink and operate those hundreds of new mines? How much petroleum will be required to manufacture the millions of tons of non-recyclable plastic blades for windmills? We should also have a list of what it would take to produce the immense number of batteries necessary to store electricity reserves. Solar panels, windmills, and batteries don't last forever. How exactly will the mammoth recycling on an unprecedented scale be handled? I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening.
So this is a statement from the Jedi of the world regarding Biden and their flop campaign, trying to allow people to go off par with what's actually happening. One, there has been static electricity and generators, arc generators, and quantum fields of energy, which we can bleed off of free for thousands of years. The old Tartaria and old areas of the world of the civilizations that are still under the earth and been destroyed, and their science is still upon the world and has been highlighted by all of us so-called internet people. So, am I real? Yeah, I'm pretty real. Hi. Jedi True Sky, formerly known as a psychic and empath, one of the strongest in the world. So let me see right through their bullshit. It's called a flop campaign to cover their ass so they can bleed us dry and put the prices up through the roof and then do a miracle release of energy and then charge us even more for that. They're just bleeding us more. Okay, America, we can see what you're doing. It's very, very clear. The entire thing is like you're trying to control us going, they'll believe this, they'll believe that, and we're already sitting ahead of you doing maybe they ate too many hamburgers. I'm just saying it in general. I mean, have you put a hamburger for a year and studied it? No, everyone's been doing that for a long time. McDonald's doesn't have real food, people. Fast food chains and all that block yourself. Grab an orange. Have an orange for brekkie, I mean, seriously, drink some fresh water. Fresh water, not out of plastic or their pipes. I mean, honestly, they're kidding themselves. A flop campaign to make the world, we trust the government, and God bless. The word God, as soon as they said that in the campaign, was here we go, more repression. Because we all know the word God in translation meant powerful beings, more beings, powerful people like empaths, psychics, or people with power, or people with high machinery from other areas. 40 days and 40 nights of rain. My goodness, that would have been probably when that big planet blew up and made the asteroid belt, and all the water poured down on our planet, flooding our poor planet, where every other life came from that planet here as a lifeboat. Has anyone ever actually heard of the Great Collector from NASA? You know, there's a cluster of a hell of a lot of galaxies out there, and we're heading towards it, but we're never going to make it due to gravitational pull ratio. So a Stargate was made to our planet for that. Everyone else is in the Great Cluster looking at us going, we try to help, but every so many million years the ship wears down and they start doing their stupidity from the planet wobbling out and freezing, coming back in, wobbling out and freezing. You're on a lifeboat and we're being manipulated by our own societies, okay? Do you think the Parliament White House there was the original building? There is footage of them dragging it on trains and putting it in position after the floods. That's all I'm going to say at this moment in time. Their flop campaign, won't work. Okay, why don't you pull out the energy supplies that we all know you have, because we're pulling our conductors off our old buildings in your earthing area. We're using our mercury, and we're using earth generators that don't need batteries. They just conduct power all the time, and you put a converter on it and you can have power day or night for free. Oh, why don't they say that in their Biden American campaign? Jedi Tree Sky out. Have a nice day.